All right, it looks like it's about the end of summer, and I haven't done any backpacking in a while, so I'm going to get the gear out, do a quick check on it, make sure everything's still there, make sure I know how to set it up. So I'll do a quick check on. Right here we've got, on the left is my DIY tarp. It's a 10 by 10 tarp, my do-it-yourself hammock with bug net, the tree straps, and also all the tent stakes. Now it's time for the hammock. What I'm going to do is I'll pull the suspension out. This stuff sack has got two ends to it so that the suspension can come out from both sides. This is helpful if it's raining or muddy. I can keep most of the hammock inside. And I know that the larger cord lock is at the head end. That's also where the end for the bug net is. So I'll take this whoopee sling end and just loop it over that knot. Now I'll take the other end. At this point, actually pull the hammock out to the other end. Take the whoopee sling from this end. Loop it over the knot. Quick half hitch. And this is the bug net. I've got a zipper sewn into it, so once everything's installed, I can just unzip this and get in. But I have to undo it to get the underquilt installed, so loosen this and pull it back. Here's just the carabiner that goes on the tree strap. Comes down to that marlin spike hitch, and you can look that up. It's on some good explanations on hammock forums. Shuge's YouTube series has all kinds of stuff that I've definitely taken a lot of things from both of those places. This knot right here, which is the first knot I tie for the tarp, is an Evenk hitch, E-V-E-N-K. And it's really nice, it's very quick, and I got this one from Paul Kirtley's series. He's does a lot of videos on bushcraft and outdoors stuff. He does a lot of stuff on tarps and knots. And the suspension of the tarp here I've just got a small piece with a prusik knot attached to a small carabiner, and this just allows me to very easily change the position of the tarp. So I can string up the ridge line, which is continuous and goes all the way, and then once it's up I can just kind of move the tarp up or down to get it centered over top of the hammock. The suspension for the hammock is Dyneema. This is whoopee slings, and you can get this stuff from a lot of places. I get almost all of my stuff from Ripstop by the roll. Great company, great service, and great materials. For instance, made the tarp material from there, the hammock, and the underquilt. Also a top quilt, which is not really pictured yet, but and all the down was also purchased from them. On this end, you see once again the prusik knot, a little bit of different cord. This is a smaller Dyneema cord. On this end, with the tree, I almost always use just a trucker's hitch with a half hitch, and the same thing here. It's another marlin spike hitch and just a carabiner for the tree strap. Here's going to be a little better idea, view of the suspension system. You'll see this heavy shock cord right here is the primary suspension, and what it does is it runs all the way down through the top edge of the top quilt, and that is what kind of keeps it held up against your body. The secondary suspension is a slightly smaller shock cord, which goes to these cord tensioners, and what that does, there's one here, and there's two at the foot. And what that does is it keeps the underquilt from migrating either toward your feet or away from your feet up toward your head as you sleep. And sometimes it'll just kind of accordion into the middle, leaving your head and your feet kind of unprotected at night. So this just kind of keeps it pulled to where you want. Then there's the third suspension adjustment, which is this really small cord which runs in a channel at the head and the foot end, and you saw what that does is it closes up the head and the foot end so you keep the drafts from coming in. Basically, once you get it initially set up, they're a little finicky, but once you get it set up, this quilt is pretty much always going to go to this hammock. So the primary and the secondary suspensions don't ever change. They're kind of tied off with a little half hitch, and the primary is adjusted by this cord lock here, and I've just got them kind of tied off, so that's kind of where I want it. And the only thing that changes is these I loosen up just to be able to put them in the stuff sack, and it's really easy to just kind of snug these up to the right tension, both at the head and the foot end. So that's it. Here's a little close-up of the marlin spike hitch. Find out where you want it to be, and then do a overhand loop. Then you kind of reach and grab the line that goes back toward the tarp, and it creates that loop. Just insert your tarp stake into it that way and pull, and now at this point just figure out where you want it to be and then just insert it there. Alright, depending on where you're set up, the best bet might be just to go to another tree or sapling, so I'm just going to use this fence picket here as an example. Just kind of running around, figure out where you want to put your loop, just kind of grab and do a overhand turn, reach through with your finger, and pull a loop through like that, and then take the far end, just pass it through, and at that point just kind of pull it to snug it up, pinch it, and do a little quick half hitch, and it's done. This is just a piece of fleece that I purchased. It was actually a remnant, I think, left over at Hobby Lobby, and I've sewn it together to basically be just kind of like the foot box on a top quilt, as you can see. Of course, this is upside down, so the part you see would actually be underneath. So it's basically just a fleece blanket that makes it very, very light, and I'll probably end up sleeping with this tonight. This one's pretty much what I use in the summertime. Spring and fall, I can get by with the down, but this might actually be a little more comfortable tonight. I'll go ahead and include some of the items that I talked about and some links to the places where I bought some of the gear. I'll probably end up having to do some additional videos on some of the specific DIY gear, specifically tarps. A couple I've done 2 underquilts, 2 top quilts, and at least I've done 1 hammock. So if anybody has any questions about anything that I didn't talk about, leave a comment. Appreciate any feedback, and thanks for watching.